A storm is brewing in the Bay, a crossroad where legacy hangs by a thread and the future of Dub, Nation's frontcourt balance trembles on an unforgiving edge because inside the Golden State Warriors' labyrinth of all-season maneuvering, the intangible weight of Jonathan Kuminga's holdout isn't just a stubborn contract saga. It's the very linchpin threatening to stall moves that could define or derail this team's next championship chapter. Welcome back to Warriors News Fan Report, where raw truths collide with splash-era passion. Smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so your heart never misses a beat. The chase for interior stability has brought 39-year-old Al Horford into the spotlight, a seasoned warrior whose veteran savvy and locker-room gravitas feel tailor-made to patch the yawning defensive gaps left by Kevin Looney's departure. But within that narrative, a knot of complications tightens as Kuminga's unresolved holdout looms larger than ever, turning the Warriors' strategic planning into a high-stakes game of chess where every piece is frozen until that thunderous stalemate breaks. Brett Siegel, a trusted clutch points insider, punctuated the ongoing drama with blunt clarity. The main reason Horford and Melton, or any other player, have yet to sign with the Warriors is because of Kuminga's holdout. That's the inside truth. No deal inked, no roster settled, no certainty in sight. All because Golden State's brass refuses to pull the trigger before fully confronting the Kuminga impasse, illustrating just how pivotal the young star's situation has become to the Warriors' delicate off-season chemistry. Horford's own circumstances only add fuel to the inferno talk swirl quietly about retirement, about a possible walk away from the game or a detour to another team, and suddenly Golden State's big man plans transform into a volatile guessing game that could append the frontcourt blueprint entirely. The Warriors, ever pragmatic, reportedly have lined up fail-safe targets standing in the wings, waiting in free agency like silent sentinels. We're talking about Chris Boucher and Trey Lyles, two very different skill sets poised to fill that potential Horford-shaped void. Boucher, a 32-year-old with a surprisingly refined offensive arsenal, represents the modern NBA big man with his reliable shooting stroke and nimble ball handling, boasting a 36.3% three-point shooting clip last season over 50 games, averaging 10 points and 4.5 rebounds per game, numbers that echo the Warriors' cherished motion offense, where spacing and pace are gospel, where Steph Curry's gravity demands every big man to stretch the floor and open driving lanes. Boucher's fit isn't a perfect mirror of Horford's defensive acumen. No one brings that shot-blocking consistency or anchored defensive leadership quite like Al, but offensively, he's a tantalizing piece that could inject new weapons into Golden State's system. On the other hand, Trey Lyles, a 10-year NBA journeyman, offers a contrasting profile, less flashy ball movement, more spot-up reliability, a player with a catch-and-shoot pedigree that might suit the upcoming splash-era perimeter barrage but doesn't quite possess Boucher's multifaceted offensive toolkit. Golden State's preference seems to lean toward Boucher's versatility, but these decisions remain tethered to the slow-moving saga that is Kuminga's contract drama could. This be the watershed moment, the hinge on which the entire offseason pivots. Back in 2015, during those We Believe sparks, and even through the heart-pounding peaks of the Splash era, the Warriors showed time and again that decisive, confident roster moves in crunch moments separate champions from pretenders. Now, locked? In this modern iteration of front office chess, that legacy is on trial. But here's the under-the-radar bomb no one saw coming, with Horford maybe stepping away or opting for greener pastures. The Warriors' offense and defense could experience seismic shifts before a single ball drops in the next season. How will Steve Kerr recalibrate his rotation when the chessboard's missing its kingpin in the post? How will Draymond Green pivot, assuming his traditional defensive anchor role might be void of Horford's complementary presence? And what about Klay Thompson, patiently waiting to threaten corners and catch lobs as the inside-out synergy evolves? Could Kuminga's holdout give way to a surprising power shift, forcing Golden State to gamble on youth or rely heavily on less proven bench pieces? Speaking of Kuminga, this isn't just a contract squabble, it's a tale of potential, raw talent, and the fragile promise of the Warriors' next dynasty chapter. And until that door fully opens, the rest of the offseason remains a suspense narrative dangling precariously. It's fascinating to wonder if the franchise's hesitancy could cause a domino effect, not just delaying signings, but altering chemistry and competitive mojo in ways that ripple beyond the hardwood. With Boucher standing as the leading candidate, ready to join the Bay, his presence is more than just a roster filler. It's a symbol of adaptability and a nod to the Warriors' relentless quest to blend experience with evolving skill sets. Yet, the long shadows cast by Horford's ambiguous future leave fans in a limbo. Are we witnessing the twilight of a beloved era, or the dawn of a new dynamic reality reshaping itself before our eyes? As Golden State grapples with this high-stakes puzzle, the emotional weight of each decision comes crashing down on every Dub Nation heart, reminding us all of the fragile, electrifying dance between hope and uncertainty that defines Warriors basketball. As a lifelong Dub Nation believer, my pulse is racing just writing this, caught between the soaring dreams of championship glory and the gnawing fear that one misstep now could fracture this storied legacy. But is this the ignition point for our next title run or the crack that splits our legacy? Drop your unfiltered takes in the comments. I'll be right there, heart in hand. If you felt your blood boil just reading about all this off-season madness, then don't hold back. Drop every raw thought and gut feeling you've got in the comments right now. Because this isn't just another off-season update. It's a test of every ounce of warrior spirit left in us. Look, the Kuminga holdout isn't some isolated hiccup. It's the epicenter of a seismic rift threatening to shatter the rhythm of the Warriors' carefully crafted machine. The kind of rift that could derail everything from practice reps to playoff chemistry. And if this drags on, what we're really staring down is a reckoning the Bay hasn't faced since the bruising days of trade deadline meltdowns or that gut punch. 2019 Finals collapse. Remember how this team rebuilt itself from sparks and ashes time and again? Yeah, well, that blueprint feels tested more than ever because there's a creeping dread beneath the surface. What if Kuminga walks with no deal, no trade, and no goodbye? Freezes us into a corner where Steve Kerr can only juggle mismatched parts and hope for the best. You throw in Horford's possible retirement whispers, talk about a dagger twisting deep because this man was supposed to be the glue, the stabilizing force inside, and if he vanishes, what's left? A vacuum. A void that Draymond can't fill alone no matter how stellar his defensive DNA is. And we all know the mental toll this kind of flux takes on a locker room that thrives on trust and consistency. Picture Clay, holding back just enough to crush shots, but wondering if the inside protection and passing lanes he's relied on will morph into a mirage. Moody and Wiggins could see wild shifts in rows too, suddenly shoved into high pressure. Scenarios without the comfort of a veteran big who calms the storm. Right now, the Warriors are on a razor-thin ledge, balancing championship dreams against the risk of unraveling the very identity that made this dynasty not just successful, but revered. And let's not kid ourselves, every hour Kuminga doesn't. Sign shakes that ledge more. What if this is the real turning point, the climax no one saw coming? The stakes are colossal, and it's not just about basketball anymore. It's about legacy, pride, and the very soul of Dub Nation. With Boucher and Lyles lurking, ready to fill shoes that might have been meant for Horford, the front office faces a brutal choice: stay patient and risk being left scrambling midseason, or make a gamble on a player who doesn't quite fill all gaps, but at least moves the needle before the heat of the regular season. What does Steve Kerr do when the shot clock's winding down on stability? How does he steer a team where the defining pieces are uncertain, where the smooth rhythm of run TMC-style ball movement could stall if the right big man falls through? And beyond the hardwood, you can almost hear the whispers in the Chase Center hallway's front office suits pacing, weighing insurance policies, talking Plan B and Plan C, as if this Kuminga chess game might pull the rug out from under them. Can you feel that tension? That pulse that quickens every time someone asks, is Curry's reign slipping? Or how many more years does Draymond have at this ultra-competitive level? The big names carry heavy burdens. But here's the twist no one predicted. The young guns like Kuminga and Moody might end up carrying the entire future on their backs if this stalemate persists. Imagine them stepping into growth spurts not just forced by talent, but by necessity. Could this be the crucible that forges the next wave of Warriors' greatness? Or will the pressure snap the seams? History tells us the Warriors are resilient. Yes, but resilience doesn't mean invulnerability. And with every day Kuminga holds out, that pressure cooker feels just a little more. Fans in the stands and on the street feel it. This isn't the offseason to chill and wait. It's a roller coaster barreling toward tip-off. And while the narrative spins, the team's iconic figures like Steph and Draymond stand silently on the edge, carrying a weight heavier than rings and accolades. Weight of expectation and maybe quiet frustration, because leadership means navigating these storms. But even legends get tested. This limbo is no small story. My friends, it's potentially the prelude to seismic shifts in playing style, philosophy, and team chemistry. Could this be the moment when Golden State reinvents itself, weaving in new weapons like Boucher's? Shooting and mobility, or leaning harder on youth and grit? Or are we staring into the abyss of a dynasty fading, or what could have been whispered on foggy Bay nights? That's the brutal, exhilarating paradox of this moment. Hope and dread, tangled in the same breath. In all my years fueling my soul with every Warriors win and loss, every buzzer beater and brutal injury, I've never felt a quieter storm with this much thunder tucked inside. It's raw, it's volatile. It's the kind of story that when it finally breaks, will define a generation of Warriors fans beyond LeBron's shadow and Splash Brothers' dominance. So this is my call to every true believer. Voice that fire burning in you. Tell me what this all means. Is Kuminga's holdout a drama that will end in a triumphant comeback, or the start of a fracturing we can't ignore? Is Boucher the secret weapon who can slide into this chaotic puzzle, or just a stopgap with limitations we'll regret? How do we hold on to the dream when the foundation feels shaky? Drop your hottest, most unfiltered takes below, lay it all on the line. No filter, no panic. Just pure Dub Nation passion. I'll be right there with you in the trenches, reading every line like it's a war cry, because at the end of the day, this isn't just about basketball. It's about who we are as fans, as a family, as a force unwilling to blink while our legacy hangs in the balance. Because this isn't a podcast script or a highlight reel, it's a living, breathing saga, unfolding right in front of our eyes, with every heartbeat in sync with the fate of a franchise that's dared to dream bigger than ever before. Now, I want you to hit that comment section, like it's the final seconds of a Game 7 buzzer beater. Nothing is off limits. No take too wild, no criticism too sharp. I'm ready for the heat, the passion, the love, and yes, the doubt. Bring your fire, because in this crucible of hope and fear, we are all warriors, and this story, it's ours to write.